right now I'm happy to welcome Alex. Alex, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. So, my story begins when I was in the Marine Corps. So I was 11 months from getting out of the military. And the reason why I chose, or one of the reasons why I chose to have an abortion is because the way it works in the military is that unless you have documentation of proof of all the experience that you don't have that proof. So I was working on aircraft for the past 4 years, but if I had gotten out, I would have had a 2-month-old child with 0 work experience working on aircraft like I had done for the past 4 years, and so no financial stability. I had gotten into college and would have been able to go, and I wouldn't have been able to move to Montana where I wanted to. I would have had to go back to New Jersey, and there was absolutely no way I was going to do that. So I ended up, I just knew. It was 3 o'clock in the morning when I took the pregnancy test, and I was like, like I said, I knew. I told the guy that had gotten me pregnant, and he was furious with me, and then I found out that he was engaged to somebody else. So it was just super manipulative and just a bunch of drama that I was just not interested in. And so I lived in Arizona. I was stationed in Arizona, and they've got waiting period. So I had to wait for a week, even though I wanted to do what was right for my life. So I waited. I got it exactly a week from when I could. And so after that, I never regretted it. I never looked back. It was exactly what I needed to do in that moment. And I think that the military people, especially the Marine Corps, because there's so few women, like we don't get a chance to talk about it really often. And I think it's important to do that.
Yeah. What are the similarities that you see between you and Jane Doe?
So I think, I've been thinking about that because there's been so much conversation surrounding it today, and I feel that, my identity is pretty invisible. I am a white Hispanic woman. I am a female veteran, and I'm somebody that's had an abortion, and I feel like the waiting period and also the invisible the feeling of not being able to connect with other people and not being able to have your voice heard and not be able to choose what you know is right, I think that needs to be addressed. And I think it's absurd and obscene that somebody feels like they have more rights to what you decide than you do. So I think I think that's the correlation.
Yeah. Why are you sharing your story today?
Like I said earlier, the Marine Corps is like 96% men, super conservative, and so I don't think there's a whole lot of conversation about female veterans and their abortion stories, especially in the Marine Corps. And so I just, they say the tip of the spear gets dulled fastest, so I just want to be able to be that support and that tip of the spear and help people come out and bring it to the light, because shame and stigma has no place in this conversation. It's not fair. It's not right.
Thank you for sharing your story, Alex.
Thank you for having me.